So I just got back from Bosch with Joe Justice, and we just had a week together going through a whole bunch of things. And my goal now with the restaurant is to make it completely flat, and where we're just having team members. I remember Jeff saying at Borland, nobody had any teams there. Nobody had any job titles. They were just team members doing whatever they needed to get the job done. So, and this whole thing about sort of cross-functionality, cross-training, getting people skilled to the level where they can really understand the other person's job, not only so that they can do that job, but so that they get a deeper understanding of their own job and how it interconnects with everything else. So Joe's come up with this thing called a black belt. So in Team Wikispeed, if the person's a aluminium or aluminum expert, hydraulics, composites, Arduino, CSP, they become a black belt, and that enables them to be a seriously valuable member of the team, because they have a deep understanding. They're then able to train other people when new people come in, new team members come onto the team, etc. So I was thinking, how do we do this in a restaurant? Because I've told my team that from now on we have no more management. We're going to not have any more chefs, as in head chef, sous chef, chef de partie, and these sort of titles. We're just going to dispense with a lot. And at the same time, I'm the restaurant owner, but I'm still a team member. So I am on the same level as everybody else. So I thought, what would be the perfect qualification for them? At the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is create restaurant owners, because I want any team member who works for me for a number of years, I want them to be able to go out and be able to, if they want to, open their own restaurant and have that as a skill set within them. So I was breaking this down and saying, if we're just team members, and yes, we may have product owner roles and scrum master roles, which I think will be vital, because of course we need people to remove impediments, make sure we're replanning on a regular basis, sticking to our meetings, and of course we need a product backlog. We need to be interacting with customers and coming up with the right product and amending our products to move along with the times. But at the same time, and my dream was that we would all earn the same money eventually. But of course you can't, because certain people have more skill than others, and so you'd have to pay them commensurate to their skill level in the marketplace. So I thought, well, okay, if we break down all the different skills, so this is my first attempt at this. So front of house team member would be a barman, waiter, runner, is the guy who brings the food up to the table, the door in charge, so who's in charge of reception, taking reservations, etc. Home delivery in charge, and parties. We have a lot of parties. Kitchen would be grill chef, pasta chef, pizza chef, salad chef, party chef, so when we're doing outside catering or even internal parties for big numbers of people, and a dessert chef. Of course, you're going to have a health and safety aspect, which is going to go across all divisions, and we have the kitchen porter, who kind of works for both of these, because they do all the washing up and preparation, make sure everything's ready for the service, make sure the restaurant's clean. Then we have our accounts. We have costing, so we have to know exactly how to calculate the cost of an item and what we should be charging for it when we eventually sell it to a customer. Maintenance of the restaurant. There's an enormous amount of maintenance within a restaurant. We have, of course, parts of the accounts that are really important to understand is gas, electricity, telephone, the rents, the rates. So that's a sort of legals aspect. And then you have marketing down there as well. So I'm thinking that if you could master all of these, and I may add one or two categories, but this is probably the majority of them. If you could master all of these, you'd be a restaurant owner. So the qualification now that we're going for every team member within the restaurant is restaurant owner. So as Joe said, which was absolutely blew my mind when we were at Bosch, he said there are some companies that are saying now you have job security but you don't have role security. And so that really got my mind thinking, and I was thinking, well, what we need to be doing at my restaurant is moving everybody constantly around different roles, pairing up, or maybe twos or threes, getting things done in our daily work as much as we can, working with other members of the team. And so the goal is that once we have enough restaurant owners within the business, of course, as they get each skill set, they're going to be entitled to a little bit more money. If I went into the marketplace and I wanted to employ somebody who had all of these skill sets and all of these skill sets, of course I'm going to have to pay them a lot more money than if I go in the marketplace and I just take one of somebody who has one skill set. So the business, we're going to work with the team members to look in the marketplace and see what the salaries are that relate to the different positions. And I think that as we go through this process of each person adding more and more skills to their day-to-day working environment, that they will, of course, they'll be earning more money, but there will become a point where we'll have too many restaurant owners, and the business probably won't be able to afford to pay the salaries, at which point we'll be forced to expand. Then we'll probably divide up half of the team into two teams of restaurant owners and start a second restaurant. Then we'd have an influx of new people, and each new person would go through this whole process of becoming a restaurant owner. And of course there are going to be some people who are not interested in owning their own restaurant, but I think that we end up losing most people who are talented and great members of the team just because they become stagnant and stale and they're doing the same thing every day. So their goal with the new team is to have everybody working maybe a week at a time on a specific role, and then, for example, maybe in the second week they may split that role, or they may work one day that week in a different role. So if they did one day each week of the year, they're going to be doing 50 days in a different role other than their normal role. I reckon over a 2 to 3 year period, you could probably cover, maybe not to an in-depth knowledge, but a very, very deep knowledge of every single one of these roles. And let's just see what happens. So this is my new experiment. We're starting it today. I don't even know what the date is. It's Monday, and I think it's the 21st of November. And we'll see what happens, and I will report back.